Hello everyone and welcome to Call for Japan Summit 2012. I'm Mai Takasada, the community manager of Call for Japan. I'm honored to be able to introduce my friends from Taiwan and Korea. Here is Track6, and this session is East Asian regional collaboration facing the ocean. Before we start the session, I want to share about the code of conduct. Code for Japan Summit is an event organized and run by contributors and volunteers in the Code for community that is dedicated to advancing and promoting the civic tech projects and communities. Each attendees, staffs, and speakers should be mindful of your surroundings and of your fellow participants. Alerts and event organizer if you notice a dangerous situation, someone in distress, or violations of this guideline. If something makes you feel concerned or worried, even if you're not sure in violation, it's better to reach out than to ignore. Wait a minute. Please let us know if you have any questions or trouble. Feel free to mail me on Slack or email to Call for Japan address. And next is about the organizers and partners. The summit is organized by Call for Japan. 6 brigades from Tokai area are co-hosts. And this is the list of partners and sponsors of Call for Japan Summit 2012. Tableau is the special sponsor, and more than 10 companies take part in our event. Thank you so much for your support. And now I will start. The title is East Asian Regional Collaboration Facing the Ocean. We'll talk about our relationship. Asian civic tech community include Taiwan, Hong Kong, Korea, and Japan. We call our alliance as Facing the Ocean because we have the friends across the sea, each other, and we facing the same ocean. So let's get started. So first, I will introduce Chihao. And hi, Chihao.
Hi.
Please introduce yourself for our participants.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Chihao. I'm from Taiwan. I'm one of the contributors to a community here in Taiwan called GovZero. I personally take part in 2 projects in GovZero. One is called GovZero International, which is to reach out to our friends in the region, including Japan, Korea, and Hong Kong. And then another project is GovZero Summit 2020, which is right now we're also organizing with community contributors. That will happen in December in Tainan. If you could, we're very happy to have you come to Tainan to join us for this conference. Outside of GovZero, I work at a research group called Information Operations Research Group, which look at how information gets manipulated and gets transmitted across the internet and also through physical networks. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay, thank you. And next is me. So could you tell me a bit about yourself, please?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm from South Korea. So this is me. Just call me Mimi or me. Anyway, so I can hear you. I work in the Bati Coup. Bati is a democratic activist. Coup is a group. And I also work in the organizer of the Code for Korea. And the NOFU is a civic hacking community. So I participate in there. And also from last years, I started participating Facing to the Ocean Mid-Annex. It's glad to meet you guys. And the turn to
Yay.
Mami-san.
Hey, yes. Thank you. And I am Mami from Kofu, Japan. Sometimes I use Miley as Mami. And I am PhD student of child development. And I am also the member of Kofu, Japan. So today, 3 contributors, Jihao, me, and I from FtO will talk.
Mhm.
Yep. Yes, this is the agenda. First, Jihao will talk about the story of FtO, what is this and why we started. Next, each speakers will talk about their community. And at last, we have short panel discussion. So
Mhm.
can I, wait a minute. We'll try to use Slido for our session. So please feel free to add some comments, questions, and give us ideas to improve our community or end project. And now I will hand it over to Jihao. So please share about FtO.
Okay. Hi everyone again. So how did FtO Facing the Ocean started? I think it started when some of us from GovZero visited Korea, Seoul, Korea. And then we met some wonderful people there. And then we just started to talk about a possible alliance or a network between these wonderful places in East Asia, where you can see in this image. We are very different, but we think that maybe we also have something in common among all of us. So we started to talk about what we can actually do together instead of traditional conferences where we just talk about things and then maybe there's less things that we can do together. What else can we do? So in the next slide, you will see a picture of us meeting in Seoul that day. It was Isabel, Po-min, Oh-hyun, Sil, myself in the middle, Yu-ting, and GJ. We're just hanging out in the coffee shop and talking about, our common ideas and also differences. Also because I don't speak Korean and they didn't speak Mandarin, so we have to use English. And so everything went really slow. But I also think it might be good for us because it made us to rethink how we talk with each other and made us to talk much slower with each other. So we were joking around and thinking about starting this alliance. Thinking about starting this partnership called Stupid Government Partnership, which is to just talk about the stupid projects that our governments do in our respective countries. As you can see in this slide, in Taiwan, we have this milkfish kid, this really terrifying looking statue that one of our local governments built. And then our friends in Korea talked about similar stupid, they think it's kind of silly projects that the Korean governments do. Because civic hacking and civic tech is such a vibrant community, and you could do a lot of things with it. But a lot of things we look at are related to governments, what governments are doing, and more importantly, what we as citizens could do to improve that. So that's how this thing started. And in the next slide, you could I think we made this in 2019, I think, in one of the conferences in Taiwan, where we would like to sort of map out the networks and the connections at the time in the Facing the Ocean community. So in the middle, you will see like the original organizers, maybe. You will see people from Taiwan and then people from Japan and Korea. And then we sort of link out to each of our friends in each of our countries. At the time, I think we're preparing, or maybe we have already done the first Facing the Ocean meet and hack in Okinawa. And that was because we knew Haru-san very early on, I think, and then he brought in Nao-san and Mami-san, and then they helped a lot to connect with friends in Okinawa, and then we ended up having a really fun and successful event there. So for us, I mean, you could look at it two ways. You could look at it very seriously, as in groups of hackers in each country linked together trying to make our governments and our society better. But you could also look at as just a group of friends that really like each other and like working with each other. So yeah, at least to me, I think this kind of networks also always have sort of two sides to it. And in the next slide, there's some methods that we use to organize, to meet, and to exchange ideas. We have a lot of meetings, online meetings, especially before an event. But because everyone is very busy, it sort of goes really slowly, right? And then we rely on a lot of these shared notes, as you can see in the middle. It's HackMD that a lot of us use, or this kind of spreadsheet that allows us to organize a lot of informations together for people that didn't have the time to come to meeting to sort of catch up with us, and to see where everything is. And because of hosting events in Okinawa, in a place where actually none of us has ever hosted event in, there are a lot of details that requires a lot of help from a lot of different people. So it's good to have these simultaneously collaborative tools to help us to just talk about things. And of course, online meetings such as this was widely used. At the time, I don't think Zoom was really a thing there. We were using Jitsi, we were using Google Meet, and suddenly Zoom is really popular. Of course, because of coronavirus and how we are operating ourselves right now. So you can see a lot of our faces here. Some of us look tired, after a day of work, and then we sort of set aside time to meet together after work to talk about projects, to talk about hackathons, meet and hacks, yeah, something like that. And then the next slide is the first meet and hack in Okinawa. Looked a little like this. We were hosted very graciously by the startup Lagoon in Okinawa. We had a really wonderful event. And in the next slide, you see some of these projects being proposed. And when you look at different proposals, different tables that we sit together and work, it's almost, to me, we're really moving and a magical experience, because you see people from different countries sitting down together, listening to each other's experiences and problems. And we sort of, as a start of a different kind of network, this is sort of our first step, and it was really great, I think. And of course, in the next slide, you'll see we go to beers a lot. And because I was taking this photo, so I had to Photoshop myself in the middle. Right, and then we had our second event in the next slide in Tainan, in the southern city, in the historical capital of Taiwan, in 2019, in December. It was 80 people from all these 4 countries. We had a lot of photos sharing. You could sort of go to the slides and talk. But anyways, this one was also helped by very, very important and powerful local friends in Thailand, because they, the most important thing is they prepared a really good food for us. You can see sort of in the photo how people are holding bubble tea cups and in Taiwan beer cans, and then in the background where you can see there's a lot of food prepared, and it was really cool and very interesting. And the third one, we were hoping that this year we will meet in Jeju, because we met in Okinawa, which was in Japan. We met in Tainan, which was in Taiwan. And then the third one we're hoping to have in Jeju this year. But coronavirus stopped all of that. And now we could only meet each other online, which is a little sad. But we try to do other things that we can, which is the next slide. Because of coronavirus, such an important topic right now for all of us, we continue to exchange information and experiences from each of us, because none of us actually knew what to do, how to deal with such a big crisis. So one of the examples that some people in Taiwan made a mask about mask supply back in, I think, February or even earlier. I can't remember this. It feels like so long ago. And we were talking about, and then he came to the GovZero Slack to talk about his project, and suddenly like a lot of people came in from people who wasn't even coming to community events back then. So to the old GovZeroers, these were like new members, but also really willing to share their experiences and open source their code. So it was really nice, because GovZero was essentially always been a very open place for people to come. And then among Facing the Ocean, we're talking about this. And then friends in Korea and Japan was thinking about this, and I think they talked to their governments as well and created projects related to mask open data and other kinds of open data that will help us to fight this virus. And I think before, in this photo, in this slide, in the middle, down in the middle, that was an even earlier website made by our friends in Hong Kong. That was even earlier than what we made in Taiwan, Korea, and Japan. And I think they're facing an extremely difficult situation right now, especially in their relationship with their government and with the Chinese government. And what they've done with this sort of civic version of the coronavirus is information is really powerful. And finally, we're hoping to have our friends at the end of this year at the summit 2020 in Tainan. If you can't make it, we're definitely preparing a lot of different technologies for us to connect together online. And yeah, that's pretty much the story of FtO. That's my version, at least. So should I just go to the next? Oh, sorry.
Yes.
If you're interested in join, there are a couple of ways. You could join GovZero Slack and find us in the INTL, which stands for International Channel. You could join the Code for Japan Slack, or you could join the newly formed Code for Korea Slack. Yeah, just ask us, and then everyone is welcome. So the next part is about Taiwan, Korea, and Japan. This is me again, starting. So I hope I'm not going over time, but I'll be quick. This slide was made by Pomin PM5, but this is gonna be me saying everything. Okay, next please. So GovZero is a community of projects. We call them pits. So there are like a lot of holes on the ground for us to fill. There are coders, but there are also non-coders like designers, writers, and we sort of look at these holes on the ground, and we can't help but filling them. So there's this motto in GovZero said, "Don't ask nobody for nothing. You're the nobody," which means that if you see something, you can do it. You can do it, and if you can't do it, you start doing it. And if you have a way to find friends, then you can all do it together. And in this photo, you can see Harusan on the right, which looks tired, but energetic always. And in the middle is Zhou Wei, is one of our very old-time friend in GovZero, who's done a lot of map-related projects. So the next slide tells a big, important story about GovZero, is that nobody represents GovZero, because it's a community, it's not an organization. So we don't have a chairperson or a president. Everyone comes and goes as they please, and then they represent their own views. It's sort of more like, instead of this photo, which is us, one person standing on a stage, it's more like the next photo, where everyone sort of speaks for themselves and hopefully enjoying a good time in GovZero's event. There's some infrastructure that we do, and the most important thing is food, right? Food is the most important thing, and then there are hackathons and stuff. This is where we met for in FtO in Tainan last year. As you can see, the food is amazing. So this slide says personally. I think it means personally from Pomin, but I think we share some of the viewpoints here. The most important thing, I think, for FtO is that we stand together. Because a lot of times it will be difficult to do civic hacking in countries and in places. But sharing the same values about democracy and openness and transparency, I think, is very important to me. And the next slide is that we stay mobilized. Is that we don't give up. Sometimes things are important, but we still keep organizing, still keep mobilizing. I think FtO is a really good example. It's because while things are very difficult in different countries, but we still keep dialoguing. And again, this is a sort of an advertisement for the GovZero Summit at the end of the year. We really hope that this could be another chance for us to get together and to talk about our difficulties and experiences that I'm sure all of us have in sort of getting through 2020. Yep, and be the safety net for each other is really important. When we meet, we can talk about our problems and in a safe space as well. And also, I think that's why a code of conduct is really important for these kind of meetings and communities. And also, barbecue and beer is always really good. Yakiniku is really good. Right. And then the final slide is that those who are not with us, those who have passed away, or those who participated in protest and was could not participate in these open, transparent event. We're still in contact and we're still thinking about each other all the time, and I think we can get through this together. Okay, that's all for me.
Thank you. And next is me.
Hello. Today I'm gonna talk about this BATI and Code of Korea. FtO is kind of to give an insight and the connection between the BATI and Code of Korea. So I will introduce is BATI. Is a Code of Japan and GovZero is sort of different to the BATI. BATI is a kind of the democratic activist group, and the COO is some part of our project is a civic hacking, but is a whole not civic hacking community. So I will explain more our COO. Next slide. So we're making democracy is better and better, more, and the daily democracy. So is a BATI believe that is multiple actor is collaborate and build the trust in the pure ecosystems. Is a democracy. Everyone think about this voting system or other things, but we think that is by a digital platform or some activists, we can making a daily, every day is democracy activist. So we believe that, and we do the activist of the democracy. So next slide. So this is our project field is, so we believe that we faced new era and the new Citizens Act tendency is, so they prefer to do the loose connected community and the citizen lead campaign, and they want to the public sphere is they want to speak each other and participate in the decision-making process. And also is that they want to the fact-checking and open data. And as a Code for Japan and GovZero, they do the activism and civic hacking. So but the democracy do like this. So we focus on the 5 platform and the team. Yeah, as you can see, is a community and campaign and the public sphere and the policy making and the decision making, live decision making like a Slido, and the data platform and civic hacking. Is we do the 5 platform and the 5 teams is working in there. So also is we do the activities with the open toolkit. Is kind of the guideline to the everyone can do the participate in the democracy activist. So this is our work, and you can see it is virtual things. I can hunch is all things. So I will prepare for you is a picture. Next slide. Is as you can see is a democracy soul or some is a local people is gather and the public sphere doing an online campaign, offline campaign they do, and some they making a project party is kind of is I can do everything is like a politicians, citizens. We making those kind of the democratic activists do like this. Is a people is here that some people think that a party is online, only online do it. So we do the offline and online to the offline. We do like this. It's one of our project and the civic hacking. So from the facing to the ocean, I always say like that, facing the ocean with an egg, and so we are the kind of as a networking with the Gabujero and the Code for Japan and Code for Gabujero Hong Kong. And so we have a connection, networking each other, and we making some kind of the East Asia is a civic hacking community. So we always meet together and we share the information each other's. So this year is January. Is we invite Code for Japan as Hao and Nao-san to the Asia Young Activist Research Fellowships. They do the workshop and they do give a mentor to them, and really good experience for us and to the Nao-san and Hao-san and Code for Japan, maybe. Yeah, I believe that. And so we always enjoy the beer and the barbecue, Korean barbecue. It's a really fun days. So we connected each other is a Telegram, and then is after the COVID-19. So we continually share about this. What is happening in your country is Taiwan is due to open data of the public live mask stock. So is Hao-san is write an article about that from the Code for Japan. So we share about the article and we translate together, and we know that is what I do, and we give an insight each other, and we connect each other. At that time, is in Korea is the same. So Korea also is suffered of the open data people problem. Is COVID-19 data is closed by the government, and is a data format is not digital way. They making some design and card news like this. So we ask to the government, open data, please open data. It's COVID-19 and the mask stock, all things is, please open data. So we making some kind of the open data online, and we send to the proposal. So at that time is we share in the Facing the Ocean Telegram, and so we give a news each other and give an insight each other. Then we started is give a comment and give a proposal and data format, and also is a citizen. Next. It's okay. Citizens started making a civic hacker and the startup making some live mask app. So they making an app, and then is a suicide rate is rising, and it means is give a possibility to access, purchase is mask, public mask. In Korea is public mask policies we announced it with the API. So we discuss and we collaborate with the government and the IT company, and the civic hacker is all alliance is working together. So we making an API together, and we making an API guideline together. So that, yeah, is kind of is a guideline of the civic hackers. Is we making us we do the collaborate is we need to guideline. So that's why is we made it, and we working with the civic hackers. The first day is API open, is a really API calls is a really huge amount of this. It means is people really want to the mask stock data, and it is really useful for the citizens. So it can, those process we knew that is a citizen mask stock state use pharmacy. Pharmacy is a update real time date, and then the mask state API is updated, and then is it IT company is a support to the server or some app registrations, so those kind of things. If they support, then they will give us some command each other. So it's all people is together working do that. Those process, those record is only working the 1 week. Only 1 week is we do that. I thought that FtO is we each other communication each other, and we knew that how to collaborate with the civic hacking. So we can do it like this. So at the time is that as a Chiao say is civic hacking public health, anywhere public health, we share about our cases. We felt that it seems to is a Korean national hackathon to overcome COVID-19. It's all is a junior high school students and high school students and university students, and is a kind of the group of the IT company. All people is gather and do the hackathon each other. Is a kind of the hackathon. They feel that is we can handle, collaborate together. So yeah, like this. So we can handle all of this. It is possible. Is the government and the IT corp and civic hacking and citizens, all people is collaborate together, and that is possible to each other. Yeah, like this. So it's I believe that FtO is a give insight and connection and community for us. It's the Asia civic hacking community is a support us. Is we can do the code for Korea. Yeah. So in Korea, is a civic hacking community really a lot, but is now is we making a wide network together, and we can do the happy civic hacking with the Gov0 and Code for Japan and Code of Korea now. So now is I will give to microphone to the Mami-san.
Hi, thank you. So I will talk about the Japan case shortly. And now I will talk about Code for Japan. But during the summit, so many people already talk about Code for Japan, so I will cut it short. So our vision is think together and create together. And we have the two ways to do this to solve the social issues. One is civic tech. We have the community on Slack. It is a knowledge sharing platform as a network. And almost 4,000 people are in our community. And we also create opportunities to be involved in public sector's projects. And the other is GovTech. We collaborate with ministries and the local government. We install open governance and help digital transformation. And yeah, we have so many brigades from Hokkaido to Okinawa. It's more than 80. And we also have some brigades not relying on the place, but the topics they want to focus on. Code for Cat is focused on animal protection, and Code for Youth is a student group. And because we have the community in Okinawa, that we can do FtO Okinawa. The first FtO was held in Okinawa, and one of the participants from Okinawa brought the issue about the poverty of children in Okinawa. We made a prototype of search site for parents to find the welfare services and benefits. A person in charge of the welfare division of Okinawa City Hall happened to be there, and later his team updated a similar function on the web page of Okinawa City's website. She was a non-tech person, but with the influence of COVID-19, she tries to do some civic tech things more. So this FtO event changed her mind very directly. And FtO2 was in Tainan. Using the internet, we tried to connect contributors who joined the hackathon in Japan to the ones in Tainan. We wanted to show the possibilities of collaborations across the countries, even if they cannot attend the actual meeting in Tainan. And because we did broadcast at this time, we can easily collaborate again when we have COVID-19 situation. And this, of course, we learned so many things from the main meetings, but I personally think that the best collaborations come from the feedbacks in the last day of FtO. We used the whole last day to give feedbacks each other. And from those feedbacks, many collaborations are born and promoted. One example is about her story. One of the contributors from Taipei shared the gender issue in the East Asia in FtO1 in Okinawa. She made this map of the history about gender issues, which is called Her Story. FtO2 at Tainan, she was working on another project. So the last day when we share about those, Mi-san from Korea and I requested her to restart her story because we feel that we should know about what happened before and how to collaborate about gender issues. We still continue to have online meetings, sometimes because it's very difficult for us because they are very busy, but we still continue. And sometimes we do online meetings and from Taiwan, Hong Kong, Korea, and Japan. And the another is about education, which is called School. Wait a minute. Bess from Gabzor Taiwan, and I talked about the collaborations about education at the last day of FtO2 Tainan. Then we planned to reunite, and 2 months later, Bess invited me to join the kickoff meeting of school project in Taipei. And I talked about what I did in Japan and what I want to do with Taiwan and Korea at that time. Yeah. And I was inspired by Mi-san and Bess. So that's why we can do the project about education when the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic. And this is the application called Home Class Timetable. And this is the web application that enables teachers to work at elementary schools to tell their teaching plans to students who cannot come to school. Code for Japan is developing the application in case of the second or third spike of COVID-19 infections. Oh, we don't have time. Okay, and after we made version 0, some of the contributors from Taiwan help us to make up multilingual translation. So Bess and some contributors from Taiwan, helps us a lot. So thank you so much for your help. And the last thing is about beer and barbecue again. From those experiences, now I feel that we are the partners and companies. The word companies comes from com, meaning together with, panis, bread, and ion is it. In Japan, we also have a very similar proverb, eat from the same pan, which is like this picture. This I have the big pan. Yeah. This is in Taiwan. In FtO, we shared food, eat together again and again. And sometimes we sing and dance together. I believe in the power of collaborations, and the best collaborations comes from becoming companies by sharing everyday things together. So if you want to collaborate with someone, eat and eat, sing and dance, then hug. In the new normal way, maybe it's difficult sometimes, but maybe same sake, snacks, or meal on the online meetings. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. So now we have maybe 10 minutes. So let's talk about some questions from audience or give some comments each other. Yeah. Wait a minute. So I'll check some comments. One from Code for IT. Are there differences from, wait a minute, I will send you this on chat. There are difference of restriction or regulation of utilizing data in each countries. Maybe there will be difficulties. 各国でデータ活用、シビックテック推進において規制などのハードルに違いがありましたかというのが Code for 愛知から来ているので、この質問と、あとは、So first we'll talk about this theme. Can you share some comments for it? What's the difference? Yeah.
I know that in the early days of Gov0, some of us did fight a lot with the government pertaining to the licenses of different data sets. That was when the government didn't know what open data was and didn't know why they would ever open any data to people. And their biggest question was, what if this were misused and done bad things with it? So I think in the early days, it did take a lot of communication with the government officials in different levels, city levels, central level, different bureaus, agriculture, health, and stuff like that. But not to say that it's not an ongoing battle. I think still people are still talking to different governments. Now they find a way to respond to these kind of requests. That's why I think Gov0, I think it was a Gov0 grant, Civic Tech grant there. They helped a project called they helped a project to build to help people apply for data from the government. because you need to fill out a lot of forms and you don't know how to pick your categories and stuff like that. So that's an ongoing conversation here, I think.
So how about Misam?
In Korea, we have some open data portal. So also in government have some team or TF about data, open data and API or collaboration with the civic hacking or the private sectors. They all already have a team. So we talked about this open data in case of the COVID-19 is a real mask stock. So but open data portal is not good, really bad for civic hacker or all developer. So everyone is complaining to that. And so we try to improve it. So but we try to talk is a diverse level as a Taiwan cases, but in the some people they cancel or decline about the open data because of the private information or some radical things. Yes, they can do it, but we always request more one again, and then they should answer the 10 days. So we always try and so. And other question is it?
Other question is, do you have any ideas or challenges about collaboration with other local legacy community? Because we have the collaboration with the people from the different languages, different culture. So maybe we can have the hint to collaborate with other generations. So can you share about how to collaborate with the people from different?
It is difficult.
There's a legacy old community.
Legacy, because
right. Me, do you have anything?
Korea also suffered those kind of difficulty. Is another
legacy support.
It's a different field, but they are linked, but they didn't collaborate each other. And so they are kind of the lever between them. So we need to making
right.
a break. Yeah.
Yes.
I because maybe this is outside of civic hacking, but because of work, I had the opportunity to go to different local communities recently to talk to them about the research that we're doing, which is information manipulation and disinformation. And that was a really different conversation compared to what I have to talk about with young people, with students. I think I'm still learning how to talk in the language that they understand, and also my Taiwanese is not great. So as someone who speaks Taiwanese Mandarin, it feels distant. So I don't have any good hints that I'm still working on this issue, I think.
We have to working on this.
Yeah. And also
Maybe
we're
we
also getting old.
So because we are getting old, when we have the newcomer from youth or we have to care about the thing that we say or the behaviors.
True. We don't want to become the grown-ups that stops progress.
Right. I meet students. I just feel I'm just an auntie. Is a kind of
auntie me.
It's a totally different generation and the community.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And Bati is they try to making some communication toolkit and making a ground rule or how to their communication each other. Is they making a toolkit when before they do collaborate and discussion about this. It is kind of to you as questioner.
Thank you. And one last minute, and the last question is about, do you have some collaboration for making apps or web services? And maybe we can talk about the Tokyo Metropolitan COVID-19 website. When we made for Tokyo, some of the Taiwanese collaborators copy of it, and Taiwan version started, right?
I think so. That was really exciting for us to see that the Tokyo government sort of work with civic hackers and very intensively, I think, at the time, right? And then build an official website that's actually built by citizens, which is really exciting for us having knowing that the difficulties to work with Japanese government, maybe even more rigid than the Taiwanese governments. That was really exciting, and to see that to propagate to different parts of Japan, different versions, seeing different logos coming up every now and then, every week. That was really exciting for us.
Yeah,
I think.
And we saw the Taiwan version, and when we see it, I feel
no, you didn't steal it. You're welcome to take it. Everyone is welcome to take that.
So we already have some collaborations already, and maybe we will make more and more with.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yes. So thank you, but it's time. It is. So yes, we have to stop, but we can still continue by using the Slack. We have the Facing the Ocean channel. So if you want, please join to our channel, and still we can talk and discuss. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, puppy.
Thank you. So, and everyone can come to next Facing the Ocean if you want.
Please.
Yeah.
I hope we can go to Jeju.
Yeah,
soon.
Jeju. So thanks for coming. I want to share about the code of conduct again. Summit will be continued, so please make sure about this. Yeah. Feel free to send me the message if you have some trouble, or if you want to tell about something about code of conduct. Thank you. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great conference, and then take good breaks after this.
You should. I think. Kanbare.
Thank you. Bye bye. ありがとうございました。はい。ありがとうございます。そうしましたら、はい、徳倉さんのセッションが次に始まりますので、用意をしていきます。で、YouTube はこのまま放映していますが、開始時間になるまでは休憩となりますので、皆さんお待ちください。みーさんとちはおさんでした。はい。それではですね、徳倉さん、もしYouTube 見てらっしゃったら、このまま Zoom にお越しいただいて大丈夫です。お待ちしております。
I think we should leave.
Yeah.
I will leave.
The next
We're just missing each other's
come.
faces so much. Okay, bye.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.
徳倉さん、ありがとうございます。聞こえますか？
はい、聞こえます。
はい、ありがとうございます。すみません、ちょっと私のセッションが押してしまいました。